All right, what's up, YouTube? So I had to get some beehives emptied out because all of the boxes were full. The brew boxes full. The honey supers are full. And I mean, I'm talking about this chock full, y'all. Like, hold on, not yet, not yet. All right, so we about to start popping these frames out and getting these bees cleaned up. See y'all in a little bit. All right, we're pulling some frames out right now. And I mean, there's plenty more honey that we gotta go get, honestly, but this is just the start.
Nice cap,
honey. Yeah, fully capped.
Nice cap.
Turning around, you know, all right.
Nice cap, baby.
Yeah, no bees on it, mean they did their job, so drop that one in there. Grab this next one here.
Nice cap, baby. Ooh, this one mine, here. Yeah, I mean.
Turn it around so I can hit. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the bees off. Yep, all right, drop it in there. It's another fully capped one. They coming out good.
Cap it, a little half of one.
Yeah, it's half. Chock full. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's chock full. This one, not too much going on this side here. The other side full, so it's half. It's half a frame there.
A little blue on this one.
Wait.
Oh no, it goes. Full one. On one side.
Use that. Yeah, I'm about to say use that tool if you got to.
Full one.
Full.
There's 3, 4 daddies. Long. Low.
We ain't had to use the blower yet. So that's the convenience of this blower here, y'all. Basically, I mean, it knocks the bees off. So when we were out there was thousands of bees, but that blower got the job done. Honestly, did a better job than the smoker. So another full one. That's good. And it's the last one here. That's the 10th frame. So basically, it was 2 of them that weren't full. Yeah, because they still working on this frame.
Gotta be, huh?
Just try to pull it forward. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Half of the frame, basically. So sorry about the bad setup and the bad camera angle here. This tripod doesn't tilt, so I won't be able to tilt it on the box as I'm lifting up these frames to show them to you. You can see here a lot of honey dripping out the bottom there. I slid the box back a little bit. I hit this with the blower right here. That's why that's bust open like that. But this is basically a fully capped frame. This blower right here, it's an absolute must in the apiary. Has just enough power to knock down the bees, to knock the bees off the frame, but at the same time, it won't harm the bees, from what I could tell. It literally had just enough power to knock them off, because some of them were clinging to dear life, or clinging for dear life there. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna grab a piece of the honeycomb at the top here. So basically, this came from an apiary that was very active for some years, and basically the guy sold the land about 2 years ago, or a year ago or something like that. So the apiary hasn't been tended to for at least 2 years. From what I can tell, there were at least 30 active beehives at one point, but now there's only 3. And they've been surviving on their own, doing their own thing, of nobody tending to them for a couple of years. So basically, it was chock full of honey. This super came off the top. It had 10 frames in it. Me and my friend, who was the one that was told about the apiary, the bee apiary, he was told about it about 5 months ago or something. And then he told me about it about 1 month ago. And he was basically, he didn't want to go harvest the honey by himself. He didn't want to deal with the bees, you know. That's how most people are. They yeah, you know, there's thousands of bees somewhere. You don't really want to be around it. But one day we were buying watermelons, and then he told me about it. And, cause we were talking about growing watermelons together, and then he brought up the bees. He's like, yeah, you know, they got some bees around my house, etc., etc. And then I was like, I said, bees? I said, there's honey over there? He said, yeah, the man who used to own the land said we could go he said we could have whatever we want over there. He sold the land to some company, and there's no telling what they're gonna do with the land. I said, well, we need to get on that ASAP. So lo and behold, we've been out there about 4 or 5 times now. We're trying to figure out a decent location to move the active beehives. And then I'm going to start splitting the hives using those hives as seed, because they're basically good genetics. The bees aren't too aggressive. I mean, I get stung here and there, but it's not like I get swarmed. So the bees are very calm. One hive is more aggressive than the other two for sure. Like the hive that this came off of, these bees were very docile. They were very calm. I mean, we pulled that honey super off, had 10 frames chock full. Only like 2 or 3 frames had half the frame that was full, and the other side was just like they didn't work on it at all. But basically the bees did their thing with these frames. From what I can see, there's a couple eggs in some of these frames, but it's no issue. Or it's either a couple eggs or there used to be. So I'm gonna start lifting these frames up and showing you guys my half of the harvest. Basically, we had 12 frames. The honey super had 10 frames. And then we were looking at one of the brood boxes, and it was chock full of honey. And it looked like the queen has been moving into the upper supers. Basically, there should have only been one super. Well, there was 2 brood boxes and 1 super. That 1 super shouldn't have been on that specific hive that we got this brood box out of. So let's start lifting these frames up and seeing what we have. Like I said, this tripod doesn't tilt, so we're just gonna have to lift these into view. By the way, this honey is being harvested in New Orleans, Louisiana, if you're curious. So this, according to my research, these frames that have the darker colored honey, these were previously used as brood frames, and they also are the older honey. So it's from the previous years. So this honey has been sitting there, and this was in the top super. The second super was just as full, and this is full on both sides. You can see how thick that honeycomb is there. So this was full on both sides, y'all. Very heavy honey frame. I'm proud of what we were able to extract today from the beehives. We haven't extracted the frames yet, but we were able to extract the honey frames. Another one with some thick honey. Just the top part right there that didn't get worked on, but this is basically a completely capped frame. A couple eggs here and there, a couple larvae. The darker yellow, I believe that's larvae. So if I were to pick one of those cells, it will be a white larvae hiding out in there. So that's the second frame that I have. And like I said, we had 2 times what I'm going to show you today. I'll go for the third frame. Very uniform, fully capped honeycombs here. This one Looks like it got knocked it a little bit right there. No problem. Very beautiful. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this, guys. This box was so heavy. This honey super, oh my goodness. So we're working on finding out where we're going to transport these beehives, because there's 3 of them, and we need a legit location where we can store them at. You can see this one was almost finished being filled up with honey, so they were almost going to cap it off. Now I told my friend, now this backside here doesn't have much going on, so that's probably what I'm going to eat first. I'm just going to scrape that off and eat that first. I told my friend that, turn this around, that we need to get that second honey super off of that hive that we got this full honey super off of, because we basically harvested, we took the 3rd honey super. There were 3 honey supers, so they didn't have a brood box on the bottom, so the honey supers being used as a brood box, I believe. There was a queen separator under this honey super, so I was assuming that there were no eggs. I believe that some of those yellow cells might be eggs. I won't know until I bust them open, though. Like right here, I believe there may be larvae in there. Could be a newly hatched queen that see, this backside isn't full. It could be a newly hatched queen that so this one was basically like half a frame. Not too much going on this frame here. If you add it all up together, it'll be just under half a frame. So the beehive, I believe they had a new virgin queen in that hive or something like that. And she may have been able to fit between the honey super, the queen extractor. Okay, so this brood frame here is kind of tall. And this is heavy. Fully capped brood frame. I don't see any egg whatsoever. Well, almost fully capped. I'd say about 90% capped. This came out of the brood box. Now the issue with this hive is basically, I'm turning the frame around so you can see the backside also. And the backside is about 95% capped. There's actually a honeybee right here lodged in there I need to take out. So the blower did its job. It got all the bees out of there basically. During the oh, that's heavy. During the transport process, that honeybee must have got crushed in there somehow. So basically, I told my friend we need to grab the super that was under this one because that one was full too. And basically, we need to put fresh super right there so those bees don't swarm. Last thing we want for them to do is swarm. Because, there's only 3 hives to begin with, and we're trying to get those 30 hives back up and running. Apparently, we're going to have to replace a few of those boxes. Like the brood box that this came out of, that one was falling apart. The whole hive started leaning backwards because the hive frame beneath the brood box started deteriorating, and a piece of the frame was missing, is deteriorating, so the hive was leaning backwards. I told my friend, I was like, did somebody come over here and mess with these hives? Because one day it was like it was standing up, and then the next day it's like there was this big crack in between as if somebody opened up the hive. But when we on closer inspection today, we saw that the hive frame at the bottom of the lowest brood box was deteriorated, and this back part was actually leaning like that, which caused the second brood box and the honey super to lean backwards like that. And that thing, one nice little wind, the big bad wolf would have came in and blew, that whole house would have came down. Yeah, so as a first time beekeeper, my experience was A1. I had about a couple bites today, a couple bites last time, or a couple stings I meant to say. Had a couple stings today, one in my ankle, one through the glove. I mean, the protective equipment, it helps out, but it doesn't, it's not 100% success. So, I mean, you get used to it, honestly. What's the sting here or there? It's like to scrape this top off here. Basically, this honeycomb here was going upwards. So I noticed on a hive that had 2 brood boxes and 1 honey super on it. Because that honey super was there, the bees weren't filling up the brood box. So basically, they'll fill up like the first 3 or 4 frames, and then they'll go upwards like that. So the honeycomb was going all the way up like that, and all the frames behind those weren't filled up. So, I mean, eventually, once they filled up the front frames, it'll probably move backwards, but it'll be more convenient if that honey super wasn't there. So if somebody was actually there taking care of the hives, taking the supers off when it's not needed and put it on when it is needed. Once the brood boxes are about 80% full, then you can put the honey supers on and let the bees move up into there. So there was no maintenance being done, so we just had to do things how we did it. Those bees are working hard, honestly. It's late in the season, and I'm surprised some of the honey we harvest. I mean, we double back over there probably a week, 2 weeks later, and they've already basically replaced it again, which it's surprising how fast those bees work. I mean, I give them a 2 thumbs up. Those bees know how to do their thing in those hives, y'all. So that's that. I'm gonna hand extract these. We have that was another thing. The guy left this electrical extract out there. He left the frame grips out there. We don't really use the frame grips. It's not as convenient as using your fingers, in my opinion. There was smokers out there. We found at least 3 smokers. All type of equipment out there, just laying and strewn all around the yard. The boxes, my friend didn't even realize how valuable the boxes were. He knew about the active hives, but the inactive hives, he didn't realize that there were hives in those boxes at one point, and he didn't realize that we can reuse those boxes. So we have stacks of boxes now. It took 2 trips, about 3 trips in the truck to bring back all the boxes. It was about 3,000 worth of equipment that we found out there. It's crazy. I mean, I'm surprised the guy didn't even try to at least sell some of this stuff. I don't know what situation was. He was like, he can call the guy right now and talk to him and everything, and you know, it's like, I believe it, bro. Like, you know the guy. I mean, obviously the stuff was abandoned like the man said it was, and this was the man he used to get gallons and gallons and gallons of honey out of this stuff and sell it. So, I mean, we're basically gonna pick up where he left off, replace what needs to be replaced, do the work that needs to be done. I mean, I'm happy, y'all. So if he didn't tell me about the bees, this honey would have still been sitting there for years to come. You can see a lot of this honey is old honey. It's darker colored. They had some fresh honey out there too, where it was like it was this year's honey. It was literally this month's honey. Like within the last couple of weeks, they produced that honey because we had already harvested what was there, and it got replaced. And this is bright yellow in comparison to this dark hued honey. So that's that. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I'm a first-time beekeeper. I'm learning about these things now, so I'm learning as I go, honestly. But when will you ever stop learning as you go, right? So that's what we have. 3 full frames, 2 frames that are about half full, and 1 full brood frame, which doesn't have brood in it. So that's that, y'all. Try to grab another piece here for the camera. I'm gonna have to scrape that off. Nice nectary honey. Very sweet. Everybody who I let try this honey, they were surprised. They said, wow, you harvested that? Yep, I harvested it. I mean, so far we got about 20 frames out that apiary, and there's at least 15 more that we could get without taking all of the bees' honey, you know, leaving them with the necessary amount so they don't swarm, and leaving them with the necessary amount so they don't starve, and And then there's a lot more we need to take out so they don't swarm. So that's that, y'all. I'm gonna figure out how to store this because I'm not about to extract it all right now. See y'all in the next one. I hope you enjoyed. This is a new project I'm working on alongside gardening. So we're gonna start planting flowers for the bees and everything else, y'all. So, all right, for now, I have the frames in the refrigerator. Gonna let them sit in here, put some foil under there because I know there's just gonna be some honey dripping off. So I'm gonna catch that honey that drips off and still be able to eat it at least. The amount that drip off is gonna be negligible compared to what I actually have that's capped off. So no issues there, honestly. But yeah, this looks so beautiful, guys. This is that large brood frame, which doesn't have any brood. And here we have honey supers that have a couple of brood cells on them, just a couple. But very beautiful full frames there. So now we're about to get to the extraction of one of the frames that only had, so I had 5 super frames, 5 honey supers, and I'm gonna harvest, extract for one that was only like half the frame. So, all right, so here's the frame that basically, if you add it all up together, it's right under half a frame. So might be half a frame on a dot. Very beautiful. It's capped off, but they didn't work the whole frame. So we're gonna just extract this into this clear little container here using the J hook. All the honey extracting tools left it by my friend's house, so I bought a kit so we'll be prepared, and everything's over there since the apiary is near where he is. So just gonna do what I can with this J hook. Can y'all see that? Yeah. Very beautiful. Honey extractor tool. It does way better job than this J hook is doing. I tell you that. I was able to scrape all the way down in one clean swoop. But this is better than nothing, honestly. After this is extracted, I'm gonna replace the frames tomorrow once I go back over there. That's good enough. I'll just scrape the rest with a spoon or a fork as I eat it. Backside now, which is where the real honey is. Just so y'all can see what came off. Okay. This is the real deal. I'll turn it toward that light there. Yep. There we go. Think I got the technique down pat now. Just got to do it at a certain angle. Okay. Some nice amber looking honey. Beautiful. Nice clean sweeps. It's wild to consider that a lot of this honey was sitting there for at least 1 year, 1 to 2 years, untouched. And honestly, we came just in time because one of those hives was going to eventually fall over within the next year, if not the next few months with a strong wind. Yeah, I'm going to just scrape the rest of that off with like a spoon or something because I'm going to feel like eating some honey anyway, so that's great right there. So yeah, y'all, nice little honey extraction by hand. Way easier with the honey extracting tool, but Can't complain at all. Here's one of the, if I could get it to focus. Yeah, right there. Man, this has a light sweetness to it, very delicious. That's that. This frame is extracted. See y'all in the next one. All right, so I got a completely empty honey frame here. I took all the honey off of this one. I'll weigh this up just so we can get an idea of the weights. So 15.3 ounces. So the empty frame is about 15 ounces, we gonna see. So right under a pound, so we could say a pound, I guess. So the empty frame is about a pound. So we zeroed out again. Now we have the full frame. So this isn't the empty one. This is a full one, full to the brim. And we're gonna get the weight and see how much honey is on these full frames that I have a bunch of. We had 10 of these in one box. So 6 pounds, 1.5 ounces. So this is about 5 pounds of honey. Subtracting the weight of the actual frame is 5 pounds of honey. Boy, boy, boy. Can't beat that. Cannot beat that. So to sum things up, this is the frame I weighed. 5 pounds on these small ones, and then these are half the size of this one. So gotta be a solid 10 pounds on this guy here. It's full front to back. So a solid 10 pounds, solid 5 pounds each of those. And there was 10 of these and 2 of these.